Main and the important part start. So in this part we will be doing classification of cost, such a very huge task to do as per cost accounting standard number 1. Cost accounting standard number 1. So this is a very hard task for us to learn the classification of cost, because we have a lot of classification of cost, and this is a specialty of costing, because costing allows a business to break up its cost into small, very small part, divides it in divisions, then subdivisions and subdivisions. So we have classification of cost like this. So we will be starting from 1, then we will be doing all. So see, here I have a chart. We will be marking as right check to all that we have done already. So we will be starting with according to elements. So according to elements, we have classification as material cost, service cost, or you can say it expense, and labor cost. Let's see what do you mean by material, expense, and labor cost. See, cost classification by nature, or you can say elements. So in your module you can find it as nature, but I can call it also elements. Suppose that you want to make a box. So what are some of the things that will be required to make such a box? Material, labor, and some of the expenses. So these three things are known as elements, right? Elements for this box. So in this classification we will be learning these three things. Material cost. Material cost is the cost of material of any nature used for the purpose of production of a product or a service. It includes cost of material, freight inwards, taxes and duties, insurance, etc. directly attributable to acquisition, but excluding the trade discount, duty drawbacks and refunds. What is known as duty drawback? It is dealt in customs and refunds on account of excise duty and VAT. So basically, if you purchase material, raw material to make such a box, you might import it as well. On importation you will be charged a tax named as custom duties. You can also apply for duty drawback. You will be learning what is the concept duty drawback in customs only, and VAT and excise is alive now also, but in certain cases, like for example GST as well. You can also claim GST refund onto such materials used in do this box, and this cost will be excluded from materials cost, and all discounts will be excluded from materials cost. It is very important, please listen carefully. Labor cost. Labor cost means the payment made to the employees, permanent or temporary, for their services. Labor cost includes salaries and wages paid to permanent employees, temporary employees, and also to the employees of contractor. Here salary and wages include all the benefits like provident fund, gratuity, ESI, overtime. See, it is very important to know about material cost, because material costing is a separate chapter in intermediate. It is very important to know about labor cost, because it is a separate chapter in intermediate known as labor costing or employee costing. And we have a certain cost accounting standard on to employee costing as cost accounting standard number 7, I guess. So expenses are other than material cost or labor cost which are involved in an activity will be known as expenses, and this will also form a part of total cost to manufacture a box. Suppose it takes material, it takes labor, it takes also expenses. Like what expenses it includes? Maybe it includes designing expense. We have to design a certain thing to make such a box, or we have to design such a place where the box will be designed, or we will be having a designed plate specially made for this box to be fitted into our machinery. So designing cost will be included into expenses only. Okay, so classification by nature is material, labor and expenses. We have done it. Now next, cost classification by relation to cost center. Cost center, or in easy terms you can say traceabilities. How are you able to trace it? Trace it means find it. So it is divided into two parts, direct or indirect. So you can find the cost as direct cost and indirect cost. So direct costs are of three types: material, labor and expenses. Material, labor and expenses. So let me give you an example of direct material. The raw material used in the manufacturing of the box is known as direct material, direct raw material. But what is indirect material? The material that has been used onto the box indirectly, or you can say which you cannot see by looking, or which you cannot find by looking that this material has been used. For an example, direct material used in the box is the basically paper or the cardboard used, But indirect material that has been used is nails. Nails. Basically, generally, you cannot see nails or stapler pins that is being used in the box to give it a shape. Or let's take a different example. Suppose your business is to prepare mouse, computer mouse. Okay, so the direct material used are wire, the plastic, the buttons. So these are direct materials, but it has also the nuts in it. It has also some circuits in it. So these are indirect materials, basically. Okay, so direct material cost of material which can be directly allocated to a cost center or cost object in economic feasible way. Basically, you can identify by saying that this box requires this kind of raw material directly. Okay, now next, direct labor cost of wages of those workers who are directly readily identified and linked with the cost center or cost object. So now you got the point, cost center or cost object, these are similar terms. Now in the example is cost center is the box. So the labor employed directly onto such thing is known as direct labor cost. Direct expenses, from the very beginning you are learning about direct expenses. In class 11th you have also learned about direct expenses. So what are direct expenses? That are directly associated with the product. Direct expenses other than direct material and direct labor which can be identified or linked with the cost center or object. Okay, so other than the material and labor, if you incur any expense, it is direct expense. For an example, carriage. Carriage inward, not outward. Carriage inward means if you take the raw material. So how do you take the raw material from the shop of the vendor? Then you will load the raw material into a truck. The truck will charge you money, and this money will be known as carriage inward. And this carriage inward will be a direct expense for the business. And if we add these three things, direct material, direct labor and direct expense, it becomes prime cost. You will have to learn this formula that if we add direct material, direct labor and direct expense, we will get prime cost as a result. Now indirect material, so as I have told you, that which cannot be directly allocable to a particular cost center or cost object. Indirect labor, cost of wages of employee which are not directly allocable to a particular cost center. So basically, suppose direct labors are employed for the product only, but there are also indirect labors. So who are indirect labors? Basically, the indirect labor, suppose there is a person who packs 100 of box by a machine. So he is not directly associated with the labor cost of this particular box, because in single term he packs or he packs 100 units of a product by machine with the help of machine. So his labor cost will be assigned to each and every unit of these 100 units indirectly. Okay, indirect expenses other than that of nature of material or labor and cannot be directly allocable to a particular cost center. So it is known as carriage outward. Carriage outward, once you have finished the product, once it becomes finished goods, then to sell it you will have to again hire a truck. It will charge you money known as carriage outward, and carriage outward will be treated as indirect expense. Now if we add indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses, we will get overheads. This is a new word for you, overheads. Overheads is a separate chapter in intermediate and it will be dealt on final level as well. So keep an eye on overhead. What is the overhead? Overhead is a summation of indirect material, indirect labor and indirect expenses. Now we will be classifying the cost on the basis of functions. So there are certain functions to be performed by different departments in a company. Like we have production function, we have admin function, we have R&D function, we have selling and distribution function. So how the process starts? So production department starts the process, then at the last selling department, then distribution department ends the process. So once they produce the product, then it gives the product to R&D. If any research is pending onto such product, or if in any way the quality of the product can be increased, R&D will work upon that. Meanwhile, the selling department will give commissions and all to agents and make it distributable to the public at large. So this is how the process starts and ends. So production cost is the cost of all items involved in production of a product or service. It includes prime cost. As we have seen, what is the prime cost? Direct material, direct labor and direct expenses. If we add, we got prime cost. It will be very important for you, because when we will be preparing cost sheet, it will be required to know where is prime cost. Now, and factory overhead. So production cost means prime cost plus factory overheads. Prime production cost means prime cost plus factory overhead. Prime cost means direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses. And what do we mean by factory overhead? So factory overhead is a summation of factory indirect material, labor, and expenses. So the indirect material, labor, and expenses that are used only in factory will be known as factory overhead. This will be very cleared out in your mind when we will be doing the questions. Okay. So now you have got that how do we calculate the production cost? Production cost is known as to prime cost plus factory overheads. Administration cost. Administration cost are example expenses incurred for general management of an organization. These are in nature of indirect cost and are also termed as administrative overheads. Okay. So overhead is nothing but a new name in costing of indirect expenses. Just a new name. Admin cost includes indirect expenses of following types. So these are the examples for admin costs. C. Salaries of office staff, accountants, directors. So we fall into the admin staff or admin department of the company because we will be working as accountant or director of the company. Rent, rates, and depreciation of office building, postage, stationery, and telephone, postage, supply and expenses, supplies, administration expenses. Okay, these are some of the examples for admin cost. Now you have got the idea of production cost and admin cost as well. So admin is the general management cost, not directly included or directly connected with the production of a particular thing. Now move on. Selling costs. So what are the selling costs? Selling costs are indirect costs related to selling of products and service and include all indirect costs in sales management for the organization. Suppose the organization has paid commissions to agents to sell the products. Okay, so the agent will charge the commission onto the total sales. So this expense is indirect. Remember, you were writing the commission portion of expenses in profit and loss account as indirect expense. Why? Because commission is not directly concerned with the production process. Even it is included or it is concerned with the process of sales only. But this cost will also be form a part of total cost. That is why we will be adding commission as indirect expense. Distribution cost. So what is the difference between selling cost and distribution cost? Distribution costs are the cost incurred in handling a product from the time it is completed in the works until it reaches the ultimate customer. So basically, you have given the commission, he will be selling a product, but you will have to also from your godown. So the finished goods will be stored in a godown or workstation. Then from workstation, it will be transferred to agent. So the transferring cost, the cost associated in the whole process is known as distribution cost. Okay, so the cost from the date of completion of product to making it available to the final user of the consumer is known as distribution cost. Following are the example of selling and distribution cost. Salaries and commission of salesman and sales manager, expenses of advertisement, insurance, rent, rates, depreciation, insurance of sales office and warehouses, workstation or warehouse you can call it, cost of insurance, freight, export, duty, packing, shipping, etc. Once the box is in done the production, then it will be shipped to the consumers. Shipped, if you have ordered the product on Amazon, it will be shipping onto your home, at your home. So the shipping cost will be after production cost, and this cost will be selling and distribution cost. Maintenance of delivery vans. Which delivery vans? That are associated in the process of distributing the goods to the consumer's home. Okay. Now research and development cost. R&D costs are the cost for undertaking research to improve quality of present product or to improve process of manufacture, develop a new product, market research, etc. Have you ever thought that why the new products, let's say take an example of a cell phone. Let's take an example of a cell phone. If you see that if a product comes new in the market, a new product comes in the market with a significant new features, generally the price of such a product will be high. Have you ever thought that why it is high and after 2 and 3 years it downs? Why is it so? Because of R&D expenses. Because in the initial stages when the product was developing, the R&D cost was there. But after 2 and 3 years, the product has already been developed and there is no expense on R&D. So if you decrease the expense on R&D now, the total cost will be decreased. R&D means research and development. Now it comprises the following: development of new product, as I have told you, improvement of existing product, finding new uses of a known product, solving technical problem arising in manufacture and application of products. Development cost includes the cost incurred for commercialization, implementation of research findings. So it includes not only the introduction of new product, but it also includes the improvisation of current product. Like if you see that a phone comes with two variants, in 4 GB RAM also and in 8 GB RAM also. The cost for these two variants are different. So the cost is different due to R&D only, but not so difference is there. Only a small difference is there because of R&D only. Now we will be classifying the cost on the basis of their behavior. So let me explain you these things. So what do we mean by fixed cost? First of all, let me tell you what do we mean by fixed cost. So fixed cost are the cost. So the graph of fixed cost, as you have learned in the economics, is like this. So it is fixed till a certain level of production, but after the certain level of production, it will certainly rise. I agree with you. But it has certain features, like if the production is zero, let's say units are zero, then also the fixed cost will be something. The fixed cost will be something. It does not start from zero, because fixed costs are constant to a certain level of output in a short run. But when we talk about variable cost, it starts from zero and it goes like this. And when we talk about a new thing that is known as semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost. So this is fixed cost, this is variable cost. But a combination of these both cost is known as semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost means which is fixed to a certain level of output, then rises as variable cost, then also becomes fixed. The graph of such cost will be like this. So it will be going like this. So it will also not start from zero because it includes the fixed cost. So it is fixed to a certain level, then it rises, then fixed to a certain level, then rises, and staircase graph will be there for semi-variable cost. Now, how do we identify that a cost is a fixed cost, a variable cost, or semi-variable cost? So there are certain features that fixed cost is constant in total amount. Only cost per unit of fixed cost changes. Cost per unit of fixed cost changes. Let me give an example first. Suppose the fixed cost is 1 lakh. So it will be 1 lakh whether I produce 0, whether I produce 10, whether I produce 20. So the cost per unit at 0 is nothing. But the cost per unit at 10 will be 10,000. Then at 20 it will be decreased to 5,000. So as you can see in fixed cost, it is the nature of fixed cost that the cost per unit, as the cost per unit of fixed cost will be different, but the total amount will remain same. So it is a feature of fixed cost only that cost per unit of fixed cost will change, but the total amount will be constant. But this is not the case in variable cost. Suppose the variable costs are directly associated with the production of the articles. The more you produce, the more the cost you will incur for your business. For an example, if I produce 0 units, then the variable cost will be 0. If I produce 10, then variable cost less cost per unit of variable cost will be say 2. So the feature of variable cost is that the cost per unit of variable cost does not change at all. The total amount only changes. Like it is cost per unit is 2, then I will multiply with it 20. If I produce 20 units, then it will be 40. So the total amount is changing, but the cost per unit is not changing. It is a feature of variable cost only. So till now we have got that fixed cost and variable cost have different qualities, right? So fixed cost remains constant as whole amount, but variable cost in whole amount varies, means changes. Fixed cost per unit changes, but variable cost per unit remains constant. So till now we have got an idea that fixed cost and what is fixed cost and what is variable cost and how to identify such costs. Now let us also read fixed cost is the cost which does not vary with the change in the volume of activity in short run. These costs are not affected by temporary fluctuation in activity of an enterprise. These are also known as period cost, example rent, depreciation, etc. So as you know that rent, we have to pay rent for the go down whether we produce any unit or not. If it is 0 also, we will be paying the rent to the landlord. Now variable cost. Variable cost is the cost of elements which tends to directly vary with the volume of activity. Variable cost has two parts: variable direct cost, variable indirect cost. Variable indirect costs are termed as variable overheads. Example: direct labor, outward freight, etc., etc., and etc. Okay, now semi-variable. Semi-variable costs are costs which contain both fixed and variable elements. They are partly affected by fluctuation in the level of activity. They are partly fixed and partly variable costs and vice versa. Example: factory supervision, maintenance. So like maintenance. So maintenance is fixed to a certain level of production. Suppose till 10,000 units you will be having to pay only 10,000 rupees. So the if machine produces only 10,000 units, then the maintenance cost also be 10,000. But if you increase the production capacity of the machine to 20,000, then cost will also increase to 20,000. So this is an example, maintenance of machine is an example of semi-variable cost. Now, according to decision making, we will be classifying the cost according to decision making. So as I have told you that in cost and management accounting, you will be taking various kind of decisions. So first of all, you will be classifying as marginal cost. So marginal cost is the aggregate of variable cost, aggregate of all variable cost, prime cost plus variable overheads. So prime cost is also a variable cost. If you add prime cost into prime cost, if you add variable overheads, then you will be getting marginal cost. So you have learned about marginal cost in economics as well, that marginal cost per unit is the change in the amount at any given volume of output by which the aggregate cost changes if the volume of output is increased or decreased by 1 unit. So we have learned this formula, right? Change in total cost divided by change in quantity, or I must say TCN minus 1. These are the formula in economics, but in costing we will be learning marginal costing in a different way, like the whole chapter intermediate. The definition would be same. Differential cost. Differential cost is the change in the total cost due to change in activity from one level to another. Suppose that the company is operating at 80% of its 80% of its capacity. Suppose that all the machines together can produce 8,000 units, and the total capacity, if they work on full capacity, can produce 10,000 units. So if I go from 8,000 to 10,000, so what is the difference? Suppose here the cost was 100 and here the cost is 150. So the 50 will be known as differential cost. Going from one activity to second activity, the difference between the cost is known as differential cost. Now, opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is a very old concept that we have also learned in the economics part. Opportunity cost is the value of alternative foregone by adopting a particular strategy or employ resources in specific manner. Suppose that your two friends are marrying on the same day. Means you have two cards of celebration today. So where will you go? To point A or point B? Let's say you will be going to point B. Then you will be sacrificing your enjoyment, your food and all from point A. But if you are going to point A, then you will be sacrificing point B. So this is known as opportunity cost. So if you have various options like A and B here, if you adopt any one option, then you will be sacrificing the second option. So this is the concept of opportunity cost. So if you have a property in which you are operating a business, so opportunity cost concept says that if you were not doing the business into this property, then you could have been rented over it to a tenant, and you could have been earning 1,000 rupees from this property. So this 1,000 will be opportunity cost. But in reality, there is no cash flow of the resources, either outflow or inflow. Okay, so now we have got all the points. Now we will be moving further. Let's read it out once, then we will be focusing more. Resources like man, material, plant and machinery, finance. So these are some of the resources, or I must say factors of production. Factors of production like labor, fund, capital, fund is also done, entrepreneurial skills and land. So if you employ any of these factors to a specific task, then you will be losing the best next alternative, and the cost of best next alternative foregone is known as opportunity cost. So this is all, you can read it out. Replacement cost. Now replacement cost is something very important cost in decision making. Replacement cost is the cost of an asset in the current market for the purpose of replacement. So suppose that you have a machinery A. So if you go in current market now presently, so what will be the cost to replace this machinery with B, the same machinery or the similar machinery? So this cost will be known as replacement cost. Replacement cost is used for determining the optimum time of replacement of an equipment or machine in consideration of maintenance cost of the existing one and its productive capacity. Okay, so you will be learning this concept in detail in operations management. For CMS I am talking. In operations management you will be having a chapter named as maintenance, and there you will be learning as replacement cost concept. Relevant cost. And relevant costs are costs which are relevant for a specific purpose or situation. Okay, imputed cost, sunk cost. So let me give an example of relevant cost, sunk cost and irrelevant cost. So I will give an example. One example will be make you understand about three things like relevant cost, irrelevant cost and sunk cost. Suppose that I have a machinery. I have a machinery and I am going to sell it. I have purchased this machinery at 3000 3 years back. 3 years back. The current market price, the current WDV, sorry, the current WDV is 1000 and current WDV is 1000. The current market price is the market price of this machinery. The market price is 2500. Now tell me, what is relevant cost, what is irrelevant cost, and what is sunk cost? So the sunk cost is 3000. We do not consider in decision making sunk cost. Sunk costs are the past cost that has already been occurred, like 3000. There is of no use of 3000 in decision making. Is there any use that taking decisions that I have purchased this machinery 3 years back for 3000? Does it affect my decisions? The answer is no. The cost that will affect my decision is 1000 because the WTV of machinery today is 1000. This is known as relevant cost. And the market price of such machinery as known as 2500 is irrelevant cost. Because this also does not fluctuate our decision making. So the relevant cost is this, the irrelevant cost is this, and this is a sunk cost. So imputed cost, it is also imputed cost basically is opportunity cost. Like features are there, you can read it out by yourself and you will be getting the point easily. Now sunk cost we have already done. Sunk costs are historical costs which are incurred in the past and are not relevant to the particular decision making problem being considered in present scenario. Because it was incurred at past, it is not considered in the present scenario. Now very important, out of pocket expenses. It has been asked many times in the examination that what do you mean by out of pocket expense? It is the direct payment of money that may or may not be later reimbursed from a third party. Reimbursed means transferred. For example, when operating a vehicle, gasoline, parking fees and tolls considered out-of-pocket expenses for a trip. This is very much considered decision making. See, suppose that you are working for Zomato. Okay, so if you get late by 2 or 3 minutes, the delivery will be cancelled. So the expenses that you have incurred on the petrol or CNG that you have filled in your vehicle, there is no certainty that this will be recovered from the order. So this is known as out of pocket expenses. Okay, now according to planning and control, we have two costs. According to planning and control, we have two costs: standard cost and budgeted cost. And this will end up the classification of cost concept. Now what is standard cost? A predetermined norm applies a scale of reference for assessing actual cost, whether these are more or less. The standard costs serve as a basis of cost control and as a measure of productive efficiency when ultimately posed with an actual cost. It provides management with a medium by which the effectiveness of current results is measured and responsibility of deviation is placed. So basically standard cost. Suppose that labor you have hired a labor to make a box. Standard cost is a cost that you tell to the labor that I know that this to make this box, the labor cost is 500. This is the standard cost. I will tell to the manager of the production department that I know that to make such a product the labor cost is 500 and this is a standard cost for you. Try harder to make the labor cost as 500. So basically standard cost is a target. If you achieve the target, your efficiency is good. If you do not achieve the target, then you have to work harder. And standard costing concept does not end here only. Standard costing also tells you about variance analysis. Variance analysis tells you about that why the differences have occurred. So you can take some measures of taking care of such differences occurred. Okay, so standard cost is dealt with standard costing, a separate chapter in intermediate and final level. Okay, so standard cost you have got. The standard cost is means a yardstick that has been placed, or I must say suppose that this is a graph. So I have placed a point here that from below here you have to incur the cost. If you go beyond this point, then your efficiency will be low. Okay, so keep it here, then your efficiency will be high. So this point is known as standard cost. Now standard cost is done, we will be talking about budgeted cost. So budgeted cost means the estimated cost, the estimated cost, not the actual cost, the estimated cost that you are thinking that it will be incurred. For an example, if you ask an furniture or decorator to decorate your home, so it will tell you the total cost on an estimated basis. So it will be known as busted cost. Busted cost means the cost which we have estimated on certain accuracy or principles, or basically past experience. Budgeted cost is a forecasted, means future expense that the company is expected to incur in the future. In other words, it's an estimated expense that management anticipate will be incurred in future period based on projected revenues and sales. So you will be learning it in budgetary control. In detail you will be learning. I have told you the meaning of busted cost. You will be learning it in budgetary control. That we estimate that when we will do the sale, we will have to pay the commission estimated at 1%, because it is very popular. 1% the 1% commission rate is now going on the market. So we will be also preparing according to 1%. We will be also facing some bad debts. As per our past experience, the bad debts will be of 5% of sales. So these kind of the things that you prepare as budgeted expenses or estimated expenses. Right, so this was the classification of cost as per cost accounting standard number 1. In next lecture we will see something more about cost sheet. We will be saying about cost sheet. So based on this classification that I have told you today, you will be making cost sheet. So please do not forget to hit the like button, share the video, and also subscribe the channel if you have not subscribed yet, and share it with the friends also, so that they can also take the benefit out of the video. Thank you and stay tuned for the next videos. Bye bye.